The one thing that I've, sorry.
No, you're great, Heather. What did?
Okay. The one thing that I know about them is that you have to make sure when, like when, let's say if it's a disagree, you have to make sure that it's something that both people are addressing.
Yes, excellent. Do people like point of issue questions, or I just call them disagree questions?
I do.
You do? Okay, excellent. I think there's something that people struggle with until they practice them and they realize like what the essence of what they're looking for. So on disagree and agree questions, I came up with some fun example question stems for us. So the statements above provide the most support for holding that Katie and Jasmine disagree about. The main point of issue is another way to look for them. Katie and Jasmine's remarks provide the most support for they disagree about. The two students are committed to disagreeing about. And then disagree here. Disagree could also be replaced with agree anywhere as well. So how we're going to approach these questions is the same as always. Read the stimulus and understand. So on the disagree questions, we're going to have two different people speaking, right? So we'll have person one and person two. Person one's going to say something, person two is going to say something. And then we're going to have a question and they're going to ask us essentially, what do they disagree about or what do they agree about? These ones, we almost treat as if they are statements, even though each person might come to their own conclusion. And you treat them as true, even if they aren't true in the real world. So if person one says all cows are green, therefore we should buy green cows. Once again, like we just assume that is true because we don't really care about necessarily proving something is true or proving something is false. We're really just looking at, hey, this is what person one thinks, this is what person two thinks, and this is what we know that they have either a disagreement about or something that they're agreeing about. I will read person one and I'll stop and pause for a second and digest that before I go on to person two. Okay, so as we get to once we get to the answer choices, what we want to do is we want to focus on only one person at a time. So we have our 5 answer choices. I should have just left my drawing up. We have our person one, we have our person two, and then we have our question and our 5 answer choices. As I go through these, I only focus on one person at a time. So I go back up and I might even reread this person one, and I'll go through my answer choices and ask myself, does person one agree with this, disagree with it, or do we not know? And as Heather mentioned earlier, if we don't know, what does that mean for the answer? Come on, do you remember?
Yeah, don't we eliminate it?
Yeah, if we don't know, it's a no.
Oh, we keep it.
No. If we don't know, it's a no.
Yeah, eliminate.
Yeah, eliminate. You're spot on. Yeah, if we don't know, it's a no. Because I think sometimes we're like, oh, I don't know, well, maybe. No, if we don't know what person one would say about it, we get to automatically cross it off. And so on a disagree question, obviously we're looking for something that if we were going through these, and so let's say these were our answer choices, A, B, C, D, and E, and we have person one. And let's say we go through and we're like, oh, person one would say yes to this. Person one, we don't know, so we cross it off. Answer choice 3, person one would say yes. Answer choice 4, person one would say no. And answer choice 5, person one would say no. Well, then what we do is we consider person two, and we just go through the answer choices once more. So for answer choice 1, if person 2 would say yes, and this is a disagree question, can this be our answer? Yeah. If they have to disagree? No, because they're agreeing, right? They both would say,
sorry, if they're agreeing, no.
Yes, excellent. And then so answer choice 2, we don't even have to read again because we don't know about it. For person 1, we don't know, so we just cross it off. Let's say answer choice 3, we don't know. We don't care about it, we just cross it off. And then answer choice 4, let's say that person 2 would say yes to this, they agree with it. This would be our answer in a disagree question because one is saying no and one is saying yes. And that's how we can really focus our energy towards figuring out what they specifically are disagreeing about.
I have a quick question. So do we read what both people are saying and then do the yes, no, or we just read one person, go through the answer choice and either say yes?
You know what?
the-
I have never thought about that before, but that's really interesting, Kamani, because I'm almost wondering if it would be easier to read just person one, do the answer, but you would have to know. Well, I guess if you saw that there were two people, you're pretty much going to know that it's a disagree or agree question.
Okay.
I actually want to try that because typically I read both of them.
Okay.
And then I go back and I reread one, I reread A, and then I do the answer choices. But honestly, it's kind of like a comparative passage. I wonder if you did
that's
the
what I was
first
thinking.
person. I would
But
try it, honestly.
Wouldn't that be more time consuming though? You mean to read like person's one stimulus and then read all the answers? Is that what
No,
you're
I
saying?
think it would save you it saves you a lot of time because you're only focusing on one. You're quicker at the answers.
Oh,
I would
so
also
read-
give the disclaimer though that for some people it might be quicker, for some people it might be slower. So definitely try both ways and see what works for you individually.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. If you struggle with disagree or agree questions, I would recommend doing it like this. If not, you can go like when I say struggle, like paying, I think sometimes I think whenever we focus on what both people are saying, we let assumptions from one person go into like we allow that assumption to be carried over to the other person. I go a lot faster. Like when I was drilling, I would do this. I don't nowadays, I don't actually draw my lines and stuff, but I do go through it like this, and I'm significantly faster because I broke it down like this early on, even though I might not need to do it anymore. But Kamani's question is really interesting. I'm going to try that. Okay, so I have a question here. So go ahead. I actually I'm so curious. Like I want to try Kamani's way like right away. We could try it. Does anybody mind if we just try it and see what happens?
No.
Okay, Kamani. So then Kamani, can you read it for us then?
Yes. Okay. Maria. Okay. Popular music is bad art because it greatly exaggerates the role love plays in everyday life and thereby fails to represent reality accurately.
Okay, so now let's go through our answer choices and just look at for person one, and let's ask ourselves, would Maria agree or disagree? Everyone do this on their own. Go through these answer choices and just write yes, no, or I don't know for each answer. All right. Who wants to go through these for us and what they said? Lisa, did you do the first one? A, would Maria agree or disagree that most good art creates consoling illusions?
I don't know, so I crossed it off.
Excellent. Fabulous. You're like, yes. Okay, let's go with Samach. Sam, what about B?
For that one, I thought that she would agree. And I know that she said like
Yeah, I would say that she would agree. Does everybody agree with that?
yeah.
So
I know
yes.
she said all. I wasn't sure about the all in some part, but yeah.
I think like because it says
All that some is included.
some is included. Yep, excellent.
Okay.
All right,
Cool.
what about C? Eamon, what did you put for C?
I thought so she agrees on that one.
Yep, I agree.
To go with, yeah.
All right, what about D? Victoria.
I said, no, she doesn't agree with this.
I agree. And E, let's go with Angelica.
So for this one, I kind of struggled because she says that it shouldn't be popular music. It should not be considered, it's bad art. So she doesn't really say if it should be considered an art form or not.
Excellent. I crossed it off. We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's read the second one. I think so. Everyone, go ahead and read the second one on your own, and go through. We only have to go through 3 answer choices this time, and just give me a reaction once you're done.